Welcome to Smarter Operations. I'm Mike Fritsch, a business consultant and Smartsheet expert, and I'm here to help you unlock the power of Smartsheet to streamline your workflows and drive better business results. In this series, I'll be talking with Smartsheet experts who have firsthand knowledge and experience transforming businesses through innovative real-world solutions. So whether you are new to Smartsheet or are already a power user, these interviews should give you practical insights and tips to take your efficiency to the next level. Now, let me introduce today's guest. Melissa McDonald is the principal consultant at the Smart PM, a Smartsheet Aligned Gold Partner. I'm extra thrilled because she and I have worked together to help some clients, and she's ex-Army like me. Today, she's going to highlight a grants management solution. So one of those things that is not project management that you can do with Smartsheet. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to tell us a little bit more about your background and your Smartsheet journey.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me. Excited to share Smartsheet because we both love it. My background is in project management and, as you said, ex-Army, former engineer at Seance itself. I am first and foremost a Smartsheet user. I found it about 6 years ago when I was the chief of staff for an Israeli company, and we needed to, collaborate and build up some operations, being a startup with very little budget on what we needed to do to connect people in Australia, in the US, in London, in Israel, and just started playing around with it and just, aha, eureka moment after eureka moment on the capabilities of it. I just loved it from then on. Brought it on to my next two companies where I was the director of PMO in IT and built a PPM solution, very extensive control center, resource management, Jira connector, like everything. So I loved it. I've brought it to two different companies as a user and a builder, and now as a consultant, helping everybody do the same, but faster.
Got it. And you mentioned startups, and that's one of my favorite niches to use Smartsheet to help folks, because often, as you said, there's limited budgets, limited bandwidth, not a lot of people to get the job done. And so Smartsheet being easy to implement and very, very flexible is really tailor-made for those startup environments. So you and I have experienced.
It's comprehensive. If you can think it up, you can use it in Smartsheet. You don't have an operating system or an HR onboarding system, Smartsheet can do it. CRM tool, Smartsheet can do it. So yeah, it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, and you just listed off the things that I just recently did for a solar startup right down the line, and that makes perfect sense. Well, great. Well, let's dive into the grant management solution. So we're gonna take a pause and we'll pull that up on the screen and then talk about it.
So this is our grant management template set. It's composed of 5 different sub-template sets per each grant, but it gives the ability to see all your grants in one place, but also centralize the collection of expenses and then manage how they're allocated in a very automated fashion. So we get to see the big picture, we get to see what's missing, and all of that stuff. So easily we can navigate to the different template sets themselves, but we can see overall what's happening across all the grants. And this is expandable, and we'll get into that in a minute. But we can see what's happening with the different grants. Immediately we want to see what's not been allocated. So we can go in and look at, all of these new expenses have come in, but where do we allocate them to? Easily we can come in and say, we know that this is going to go to these different grants. Right now this is a very demo solution, so we don't have grant names, whether it's a CDC grant or something from the government. We can tailor this to meet exactly your program needs themselves on it. But throw in those allocations, we hit refresh, they drop off because now they've been allocated. So we can make that easy for what's happening. We've got some automations behind this so that they go to the right places. We can easily see how many receipts are missing for what's happening. So we've got a really high level ability to see what's been going on with the grants, the expenses, and where we stand at any point in time. This is a little bit dated from last year for this demo, but we can see, over time, what's been happening, where we're overspent per grant at just a high level itself. When we need to go down and drill into it, we can see what's been going on at each grant a little bit more effectively. And so within each grant, when you drill down, you get the grant information, you get to see the overall spending again, and then we can see graphically what's going on. If we've allocated and budgeted a certain amount each month, we're going to have more spending, less spending, and we can see what's happening with that. And we can see it by expense lines, but we can change this into programs. We can change this into whatever it is you need to do. And then we've got overall spending for the year itself and not just by month. And so this can be as elaborate, you can build onto it or not. But the nice thing about it is we've got some solutioning for this. And so it's a very simple template set that works with any business account. We didn't do this for Control Center. We didn't put a lot of premium application needs into this because we know we're very cognizant that nonprofits or people working with grants may not have huge budgets for this. So it's a very easy template to use in business accounts. And we provide solutions to see how it works. So from a systems and design thinking perspective, we want to see how the information flows and how this breaks out. So with our set, we provide these instructions so that you can, tailor and customize it yourself or help train people on using it when new people come in. But it's actually pretty easy. We've got the central intake form that collects it, and you can do all of that in the field, on your phone, on a mobile app, it doesn't matter. Submit a picture of your receipt, send it in, we collect it in one location. The automation is with the allocations, as you saw me do. It goes to the individual grant, be it 1 through 5. And from that, we've already built out the reporting and the metrics and the dashboards so that you see what's happening in real time, purely from the submittal and the allocation of everything going on there. Again, we've got the instructions so that you can see what's been happening to it and where that lies on that. And we find that it helps keep track of your expenses. It gives people that are inputting your expenses a quick, easy tool just to put that in. And so I will show you the intake form itself. And this is what anyone's going to see. Throw the vendor in, simple things that you can put in. If you know how to allocate it and what grant you're spending against, you can put the allocation in here and it'll do it for you. And it'll go all the way through from the central intake to that grant. But simple uploads, and drag and drop your picture, your file, your receipt, and send that in, and then get it all in the centralized expense sheet. And now you can see all your expenses for the year, for the time period that you're looking at, and manage them. And so when things aren't allocated or are allocated, so right now, total percent not allocated, we can easily highlight what's been missing. So within each sheet and within each grant, as we're managing it, we highlight the things that are errors or duplicates. And so we easily provide that visibility without having to go through all the accounting and like something's wrong, something's off. We pull that out easily and surface that with this program.
No, that's really nice. And Yeah, I'll echo. I've worked with nonprofits, so I agree with you 100%. One, they usually, many are very, very budget conscious, and that's what makes Smartsheet and a solution like this so attractive to them. In the grant world, there's a lot of audits. Often whether it's government or whether it's private grants, folks want to know how their money's being spent, and so you get an audit. It can take a lot of time, but this makes it very, very easy. And
And
then
it helps with reporting.
yeah, yeah,
We're reducing human error. We're surfacing what's missing immediately. And then with duplications, we've got flags that we can see what's going on. And
right,
if anything is, which one more little, a lot of things in here.
right.
Uh, Let me just throw this in here. And I need to fill in a little bit more information, but the
Right.
flag would pop up. I don't have
Pop-up.
information in there, but yeah, on there. But so you have a way to measure and manage and see performance, over a long time period per grant, and not have to do anything extra.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And the use of forms, you're right, is so easy for anyone to participate with. Drop down menus and other validations keep your data integrity, and being able to do things on the mobile device is really, really, really helpful for the users in this case. So that is actually that's great. That's great. And so you said this is actually in the Smartsheet marketplace, or folks can go to your website to check it out.
Yes, they can. The smartpm.pro.
Great, great. All right, well that is very cool. And again, thanks for highlighting. Sometimes people just think about project management when they think about Smartsheet, but I think more of my solutions have been non-project management solutions than they have been project management solutions. That collaborative work management space is really good for driving efficiency.
Yeah, I just published a case study today for an HR solution for the annual performance assessments for client or for company bonuses and merit increases using Smartsheet.
Great, excellent, excellent. Well, Melissa, that was a great demo. One of the things that I'd like to learn a little bit more about is, as you started your Smartsheet journey, what challenges did you face? And based on that, how did you overcome those challenges? And what advice would you have for any of our new users that are watching?
That's a great question. And I think when I first started, because I was so empowered by Smartsheet, I could present anything. I could measure everything. I could, put a ton of information on a dashboard and make it really busy and not very aesthetically pleasing. Hey, I've got a ton of information and I want everybody to see it and let them know that I'm tracking every metric. And I think that was kind of my first inclination that, sometimes too much information is too much. And so just really be careful on, measure and report on the most important information first of all, and don't make your dashboards too busy. Don't make them pop. Really get into the custom colors and things that you can do on it, and get a little bit more creative with it. Maybe do a little research on dashboard design best practices and such, and just be really careful on presenting too much information, because then you can just go overboard and then it defeats the purpose.
Yes, I agree. Simpler is better. One of the things that I do a lot with dashboards and portals is really use them like a job aid. So especially where there are cases that somebody is only going to look at something once a month and they've got to do something with it, having the instructions on what this is and how to use it can be really effective. And to your point, making it simpler is usually the best thing to do. And it's also sometimes difficult to do.
It is.
How
like,
to
I can share so much more than I've not been able to share before. And It's exciting, but you know, there's a time and a place for that.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, Melissa, thanks so much. This has been great talking to you. It was a fantastic solution. And, I think some of the key points are, Smartsheet is a great tool to do a number of things with. Your grant management solution was a great example, but the fact that you can, support all sorts of business functions and processes, whether it's HR or purchasing, and that you can do a lot with the basic business subscription. You don't have to have premium apps necessarily to get good results. I think that is really some key points. And the other thing that I'll say to the audience is, I really love the Smartsheet community, and especially the Smartsheet partners, the aligned partners like Smarter Operations and Smart PM. Even though technically maybe we're competitors, I think the whole community really looks at it as we're all in this together. We work for each other, we help each other, and so it's the more we can do to make Smartsheet effective for our clients. That's really what we're in for it, because we think that grows the pie.
I couldn't have said that better. That's on point.
So any final thoughts or anything else you'd like to say before we close?
No, just try it out. Smartsheet's pretty powerful, and especially for the people that don't have a huge tech background. This is something that you don't require a lot of tech background, but it's way more powerful than some of the static tools that you probably have in your arsenal right now.
Great, thanks. Well, if you've been watching this, if you appreciate the content, please subscribe, like, and share it. And you can check out the Smart PM, you can check out Smarter Operations, and we hope you'll find some ways to improve your business and your operations using Smartsheet. So we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.